I bet this has happened to you. I know it's happened to me. I'll hear some crazy sounding lick and think, I'll never be able to play that. Maybe something like this lick. Or maybe something like this. But actually, though it sounds flashy, it's a lot easier than you think. There's a trick to it, and the classic rock heroes used it all the time to just sound amazing, and we can too. I still remember the first time I ever heard a rock lick and thought, there's no way I could ever play this. I was in a friend's basement in 7th grade. I was listening to Led Zeppelin 1, the first cut, and this happened. Oh man, good times, bad times. My jaw just dropped when I heard that lick. How could anybody play that fast? And it was improvised on top of that. How? Well, I didn't figure it out instantly, but I did start hearing that lick over and over again. Like for example, this instance. You guessed it, Billy Gibbons and LaGrange. Or how about this one? Maybe you don't recognize it without the makeup, but that was Ace Frehley in Love Gun by Kiss. But what's the trick? Well, it's not a scale and it's not exactly a lick either. It's somewhere in between the two. These are all an example of a scale sequence, and it's a way of using a scale rather than just a lick. I'll show you what I mean by an example. In one sense, that's just a lick that uses E minor pentatonic position number 5. However, if we get the mechanics down, we'll find that we can create lots of different licks from it. For example, we could move into position 1. Or position 2. So yeah, if you master this pattern, you'll be able to pull it out wherever and whenever you want. Now, don't worry, we're going to go over this slowly with diagrams and stuff like that. It's going to be pattern number 3 today, so stay tuned. So let's get down to business and start learning these patterns. Oh, and by the way, don't worry if you can't play them fast. It's okay, play them slowly. Over time, you'll really get to cooking with them. And speaking of cooking, our first pattern is a real burner. But don't worry, it's actually pretty easy once you get used to it, so it's a great one to start with. I use this one all the time when I improvise. This one uses the A minor pentatonic scale. Let's learn it in position 1. Now let's play it slowly to learn it. This is a simple 2-string pattern. We're going to start on the E string, and we'll start on the top of the scale pattern and pull to the bottom on that string twice. Now we'll play the B string and back up to the E string. So that's our pattern. Now it's just a question of repeating that pattern over the other strings. Here it is starting on the B string. And now on the G string, and so forth. Now I use pull-offs on this one because that's what feels best to me, but you could pick it too. I would advise you to probably try the pull-offs first, but in the end you should do whatever feels and sounds best to you. So that pattern's a great one to start out with, but this next pattern is one that I use almost every single time I improvise. If you're a fan of the blues, Robben Ford uses it all the time and Stevie Ray used it too. And it's dead simple and totally easy to get down. Again, we're going to use the A minor pentatonic scale position 1 for this, though we could use any position. Here's the lick at speed. Now let's slow that down. The pattern is really simple on this one. This one is just a 2-note pattern, so it's really easy to get down. If we start on the E string, we could go A to C, then G to A, E to G, D to E, and so forth. long as we want. Now this pattern is so great because it's so flexible and it's easy to translate everywhere because it's just 2 notes. So I love to use it to switch positions on the fretboard. Here's an example going from position 4 all the way to the bottom of position 1. That pattern is really cool, but okay, here's the big daddy, the good times, bad times pattern. It's so ubiquitous in classic rock that you just have to know it, and I can honestly say that this changed my playing forever when I learned this pattern. Let's do this example again in A minor pentatonic position 1. All right, let's slow it down a bit now. This is a 3-note pattern descending on the scale. And then, and we can continue. I love this pattern. You can do so much with it. You can move it to a different position like Page did, or you can play just part of it like Billy Gibbons did, or you could play in different positions and switch around like Ace did in Love Gun. But if you really want to know the ins and outs of the good times, bad times pattern, click here because I go into great detail on how you can play it with ease. You'll be shredding in no time. So click here. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll see you on down the road.